Welcome to Inside City Hall. I'm your host, Mayor Daryl Seymore, and today our first guest is Jay Brimhall, the Community Service Director, and Jeff Collins, the Show Low Library Director for the City of Show Low. Welcome, Jay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us today. Even if Jay wore red socks or pink socks or purple socks, we're going to let him slide today, okay? That's good. That's good. So tell us a little bit about what's going on with the Public Service Director right now.
Well, Public Service Director is kind of a new director. I had a wonderful predecessor who I got to see in action for about 8 months before I applied for and was given the directorship. And he left me just a wonderful staff. And we've hired some new staff, like this guy sitting to my right, who are just great. And the city Show Low is a wonderful place to work. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just getting used to all the things that are going on in the city. My family and I have lived here for a year, but we have a wonderful staff. What I'm over is parks and recreation. So all of our events that we do, all the sports that we do, the youth sports, the adult sports, the leagues and everything. So we have wonderful staff who puts those things together. The Parks and Facilities Maintenance Group, a bunch of men who do fantastic work keeping our parks and facilities maintained, updated, and working properly. All the leaks in the roofs and all that kind of stuff comes through me.
Great.
And got this guy over here who's running the library for us.
Jeff, tell us what did you find when you started working here at Show Low? Tell us a little bit about your background, where you came from, and then tell us what your opinion is of our library.
Oh, well, thank you, Mayor. I'm very impressed with the City of Show Low and the library. As you know, it was built in 2010, so it's a current state-of-the-art facility. Fantastic facility and fantastic staff. I've been very impressed with what I've seen so far in the last 3 months. A little bit of background on me. Prior to this position, I was the director of the Pinetop Lakeside Public Library for 3 years. Prior to that, the public records archivist for the state of Connecticut, and a couple of other library jobs here and there. I actually am a graduate of Blue Ridge High School in 1997. And the last 15 years have been getting experience in education, hold a bachelor's, master's degree in history, and another master's degree in library science. You know, again, it's a great opportunity to be here and to be able to do some great things with this library.
Great. You know, with our citizens here in our community, they're always looking for activities and things to do. And I think that both of you play a great role in their lives when they go looking for a good book to read or research, or it's amazing how many people will come and check out a book or just visit the library. What is some of the, how many patrons do we have that's coming to the library? How many people actually have library cards out? Are you familiar with those numbers?
Yeah, we have a very vibrant library that reflects our community. On average, we have close to 400 to 500 people that come through our doors every day. We have more than 12,000 people that are registered card holders, and it's free to get a library card, no cost. Just come to the library, present your identification, fill out a very, very short application, and then a piece of postmarked mail. And that card gets you access to so many activities, events, opportunities that you might not have otherwise. It's the smartest card in your wallet.
That's great. That's great. Jay, tell us a little bit about what's going to be coming up, our next activities that we have, and, you know, being part of the director of everything. If the grass isn't green, I'm going to complain to you, and well, I'll complain to Ed, and he'll complain to you. But
that's how it works.
But that's kind of how it works there. But you know, it's just all part of making our city look good, as well as having great activities that are happening, so that we become not couch potatoes, but real healthy citizens.
That's right. We have to enjoy our summers up here. That is the part that kind of distinguishes us from the rest of the state. It is absolutely beautiful. The air is wonderful. So we really try to jam-pack our late spring and summer months with lots of really wonderful activities. The one that is coming up that I'd like to talk about, that's an event. We do have a lot of yard sales going on, community yard sales at Senior field by the parking lot near the basketball courts. Those are coming up this following month. The first one is coming up. So that's a great activity, great way to start some spring cleaning, right? Perfect timing for that. And if you want any information on that, please call 532-4140. Also, after that is our candy scramble, the hair-raising candy scramble. That is a wonderful activity. I was actually exposed to it last year with my family. I have a young son and a young daughter, and they really enjoyed it. They really enjoyed, well, the candy, obviously, but then meeting the Easter Bunny was a huge thing. We'll be doing that again this year. What we're going to be doing is breaking up all of the young people so that if mom and dad have a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old, they can watch both of them in different heats go get their candy. And it also helps the kids not trample each other. Right. So wonderful staff, Carrie Natselli over at City Hall, who puts these events together. She does a great job, and it's going to be bigger and better than it was before. So that's the next thing we have coming up.
That's fantastic. So it's just activities like that. Talk a little bit about, we just recently redesigned the Sholo website. How is that going to help drive for people can find out what's going on in our community? Yeah,
Mayor, that is a really good point, and it's something that we're trying to get out into the public, so I think this is a good format for that. Very recently, we updated the website, and we have a calendar on that front page. You'll see calendar. It's pretty highlighted. If you want to know what's going on in Sholo, at the City of Sholo, click on that calendar button, and all of our activities are highlighted on that page. So check back often. We might add something. We might add to something as more information. It gets closer and closer. We're working on the 4th of July even, and it's the beginning of March. So we're already working on the details for that. We've got our barbecue throwdown along with the anniversary that's coming up also that we're really excited about. That'll be on May 2nd. So
May's a slammed month. We have the May, we have the cleanup, we have quite a few things happen. Jeff, I want to go back to the library a little bit. What do we have as far as if people have their computers and maybe they want to spend an afternoon? I mean, what do we have down here for the technology people, as well as what are some of the things you're seeing different in library services? A lot of people said, well, libraries will become like the dinosaurs, that it's just strictly everything's on the web. But tell me a little bit about why you feel so passionate that the library will always be available.
Well, thanks, Mayor. As you know, the mission of Sholo Public Library is to provide and deliver high-quality public education for all ages. And we really are able to accomplish that through our library materials and the resources that we have for people to check out. But it's more than just that. The library really is a community gathering space, and it's really a location where you can come with your family or on your own. You can use a library computer. You can use our Wi-Fi network to access any kind of information that you're looking for. Grab a comfy spot. We have a mobile device charging station that we installed recently, and there's just a number of opportunities for you every day at the library. Our hours are Monday through Saturday, and for the most part it's 9 to 6. We close early at 4 o'clock on Wednesdays. Saturdays it's 10 to 5. And there's a lot of classes and events that we offer as well. Computer classes that we offer every Monday and Tuesday. We have our children's classes. Those are our story times, and those are on Wednesday mornings and on Thursday mornings as well. And a number of other events. We have an author, a local author, book signing coming up this following Saturday, the 14th, and I believe that's at 1 o'clock. And there's just a lot of opportunities for people to get their needs met, recreational information. We have got a lot of great books, and it's a really, really good, positive place.
That's fantastic. Do you have any needs for volunteers, or are there some volunteers that help out at the library?
Yeah, we always have needs for volunteers. We rely heavily on our fantastic volunteer crew. We have a nonprofit organization called the Sholo Library Friends. They were founded in the early 80s. They incorporated as a nonprofit in 1999, and they provide a lot of really valuable services above and beyond our taxpayer-funded base to really help out the library with all those little extras and those little niceties. And we always rely on a lot of our volunteers, our community members, to help us reshelve books and clean and organize, and there's always lots going on.
That's fantastic. Well, you know, it's exciting this time of year. Spring is getting here, and some of the other things that we have, but let's focus just a little bit on a service day that we're going to have
Certainly.
here. That's coming up, I believe, the second weekend of May.
That's right, May 9th.
May 9th, and tell us a little bit about what we're got plans going on.
Well, we've got plans to meet at the old pavilion in our city park, and it needs some TLC. I'm going to have our group, our wonderful maintenance group, out there. I'm going to be out there sweating and working and getting it prepped and ready for that day so that we can go and paint it, give it a nice fresh coat of paint. We're going to be painting all of the picnic tables inside of it and really turning it into that historical piece of Show Low history that it is. And it needs some help, and everybody come on out. We can handle hundreds of people. We'd love to see lots and lots of people out there because there are lots of projects that we can do, and we are already working and planning on that. And that's going to be on May 9th, and it's going to start at 9 a.m.
That's fantastic. Well, guys, I'm grateful to have you with us today. It's been great having you on the show, and just keep doing the great job that you're doing. It's fantastic. Stay tuned for the next segment of Inside City Hall, where we will have the Fire Marshal, Brian Russell, from Timber Mesa Fire Department. Welcome back to Inside City Hall. Our next guest is Brian Russell from the Timber Mesa Fire Department. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you, Mayor.
Glad to have you with us today.
Good to be here.
Share with us just a little bit. Some of our viewers may not recognize that name, Timber Mesa Fire Department, but kind of share with us what that is, what's transpired to form the Timber Mesa Fire Department.
Well, basically what happened, we did a consolidated study about 2 years ago, and we've been working to merge several of the fire districts. We did an impact study to ultimately combine Linden Fire District, Show Low Fire District, and the Lakeside, or the Linden Fire District. We took all three of those districts, merged them into one, and rebranded as the Timber Mesa Fire District in honor of the Timber Mesa just off Penrod Road. Mm-hmm. It was a pretty good endeavor. Hasn't been done in the state to merge that many districts together, but we were able to consolidate, and through some fiscal trials, we were able to actually save the area quite a bit of money actually by doing this. So
that's good. Well, I hope it works out well. One of the things that we have coming upon us here, and always, it doesn't matter whether we're really dry or whether we're wet, there's some good prevention things that each of us should consider about our homes. And so you guys have a program that you want to introduce that you're going to be going forward doing green tag, red tag. You want to share a little bit about that with us?
Absolutely. Prior to our merger, Lakeside used to do what was called red tag, green tag, where we would go door to door and physically kind of do an assessment of everyone's properties. And we would give them a notification if we thought that the space met the national standards for their protective class. We would give them a green tag. If there were areas of correction, we'd give them a red tag. Now, there's a lot of misconception. A lot of folks thought, well, if I got a red tag on my house, does that mean the fire department's not going to protect our house in a wildfire? And that's not at all what that's for. It's more just to grab your attention and say, hey, there's a few things that make your house easier for the fire departments to protect in the event that a wildfire comes through. So we're going to begin going door to door in select areas of Show Low, primarily along Show Low South and the corridors that are adjacent to the border of the Forest Service. And we'll start going door to door, making contact with folks. We'll do their assessments to the best that we can. Obviously, we're not going to jump fences. We're not going to break down doors or kick in gates or anything. We'll do it from the sanctity of their privacy. And I mean, should somebody get a red tag, just give us a call. Okay. You know, we have two guys, myself and Kirk Webb, who's our community risk manager. we'll come out and we'll walk with the property owners, we'll help them, give them some ideas of what they can do, maybe give them some leads on some folks that can help them. They may also see our engine companies come out, or our battalion chiefs. So we're trying to make a proactive approach just to give awareness to our community and helping folks kind of better understand.
Let's cover some of the things that they're supposed to make sure that they have here. One, you've got the address is clearly visible from the street. You know, that's self-explanatory.
Absolutely. You know, and it doesn't just apply to response. How many people use your address? Mm-hmm. Some people don't want their homes posted, but realistically that hurts us. The more time that I have to spend trying to find your home is less time I have to come to your aid,
right,
if that's why you're calling us. So we always try to make sure that the address is posted clearly at the street, especially on long driveways where we may not see the house. That way we can at least know that's where we're going. Just makes our response time that much quicker.
It doesn't have to be in a fire season. This is just response time for anything that would be good there.
Yes.
One of the things that we see quite a bit is debris on the roof or in the gutters. Why that needs to be cleaned out.
You know, pine needles are pretty volatile. They like to burn themselves pretty quick, and they burn with a pretty good heat intensity. And a lot of folks just don't realize that stuff accumulates in the valley gutters and in their gutters. And it's just a source of ignition. That realistically, if we reduce that, you're reducing the potential of having a fire start on their roof, which just helps us, especially if we do have wildfire moving through with the ember cast and everything that proceeds from the fire. So.
Mm-hmm. What's a defensible space, and how big should that be?
A defensible space, it varies. There's been a big misconception that we want you to clear cut everything out and we want you to rock up to your house 30 feet away. There's actually a better way of doing it, that you can actually keep trees within proximity of your house. What we do is we look at de-limbing them up to a certain height above the pitch of the peak of your roof, as it was, using some more drought-resistant vegetation closer to the house. And that defendable space is all it really is doing is just creating a fire break that helps the fire die out before it gets to your house. Now we look for wood piles, combustible material. During the winter, we're not so worried about it, and as people like to bring their firewood closer, so obviously they don't have to get too cold when they go get it. But keeping it to your house during the summer, you're just bringing an ignition source right there by your house. If it catches fire, they're really hard to put out, and we may not have the resources to do it. So,
okay, we've got also overcrowding of trees. You know, that's mostly going in and thinning or removing some dead trees where they have a little more chance to grow, where they'll be not quite as dry, a tinderbox. What else is important there?
Well, what that does, it also not only clears your property up a little bit, it makes the healthier trees, and the healthier trees less resistant to drought and fire. So it makes them a little more robust. You know, it gives you a clearer canopy and just a healthier forest is really what it is. It's part of that Healthy Forest Initiative. And it reduces the competition on your property.
Okay. When do you anticipate starting on this program?
We're hoping to start here mid-March, having our crews start going door to door. So they'll be doing it when they're on duty, and as I said, you know, we're available to come and help them, the homeowners, with any questions they might have, or try and help walk with them.
Let's say if I'm not living in that area that you're targeting right now, and I were to call the fire department, would they come out to my home and say, you know, give me some tips or some ideas of what I could do?
Oh, absolutely. We're going anywhere that anybody wants us to come. This is not just a target zone. Obviously, folks that are going to live in Shola proper or Lakeside proper that are not necessarily adjoined to the forest will still have concerns. And we do live in a forest. We're just trying to begin in our target areas where if a fire comes from the forest side, we want to have a little bit better of a buffer.
Right. Well, we appreciate our firefighters in our community and things that they do with their families, and you know, they're one of those first responders that are on the site there. Tell us in the cities of Lakeside and Shola in your district that you have out here in Linden, what are some of the concerns that you have, say when you're in a truck going, that would make, that you find that's problematic in the city, that's maybe sometimes unique up here that maybe we need to address a little bit?
You know, some of the things that make it hard for us obviously is response. Just when you hear red lights and sirens, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's fire, police, or EMS. You know, we're having some problems of getting around folks. They aren't listening for us anymore. They're just not conscious, and unfortunately our vehicles are being built to such a standard, a lot of folks just can't hear us until they're right up on us. So, you know, being conscious of us and trying to be mindful of what constitutes an emergency versus what might not. You know, it is dangerous running lights and sirens, and if we can minimize that, that really does help. You know, mostly just keeping our city clean, right, helping us keep it properly marked, and the pride that we have in this area for where we live, and maintaining that. But coming and getting to know us, I mean, we're always open. We always accept public tours. Our stations are always available for the public to come see. The programs that we offer, we just want folks to take advantage of them.
Right. I think that's one of the great things that we have is, you know, local firefighters. That a lot of you guys grew up here in the community. They're a tight-knit group of people as well. And share with us about by merging together, did that make us, you know, we share with all of our trucks, or do we respond, or tell us a little bit about the commanding of those 3 fire stations then?
What we did is we just basically consolidated all of our resources together. We have a battalion chief that's on with each shift. We run 3 shifts. They work a 48-96, so they're on for 2 days and then they're off for 4. By consolidating now, instead of having reserves from all over from the agencies working in other agencies, it allows us to move our manpower from station to station. So if somebody calls in sick, we can shift those resources to keep our stations open. Reduced our command staff costs. We went from having 3 chiefs to 1 chief. Nobody lost a job in this. We were able to find positions for everybody, and we still found that we actually had a need for a few more positions. So we've been going through some hiring process to keep our staffing levels where they should be. But it gives us better buying power. It gives us the ability no longer, where it used to be when Sholo Fire, if we had a truck go down, we may not have something to fill it in. Well, now we have various other trucks in reserve, and so we have that ability to keep our resources readily available. So
that's great. Do you see our ISO codes changing much here in the communities here with a merger? Does that make us stronger, better in any way for a change of an ISO code?
I believe that it's going to help our rating ultimately. Now, obviously, we're taking 3 districts that had 3 different ISO codes and trying to merge them together. We just went through a regrading period. And we're waiting for those results to come back to tell us exactly how we did. But either if we went down, we only went down by a bit, or if we went up, we went up by a bit. But it is something that gives us those goals. And you know, ISO now is going after community risk.
Right. Explain the ISO, what it is.
That's your Insurance Services Organization. What it does is it rates the communities on their fire readiness and their effectiveness, and they get graded to help with their insurance rates and premiums, and just shows on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the best, 10 being the worst, how does that town fare for fire and EMS protection? And Sholo was a 3, and now we're waiting to see what our results are with this combined effort. But even if we're a 4, that's still not bad. There's communities that are far worse than what we've got. And that's in our proper areas. Unfortunately, you know, the grading scale is going to put people out. The farther out they live, obviously, the worse the number's going to get. But we'll target that and see what we can do to try and either purchase the equipment or work with grants and infrastructure to bring water supplies.
Is there any possibility of getting Linden from that 8 down to maybe a 7 or 6, do you think?
I think that's going to be a little bit of a challenge just because they're rural and their infrastructure's just not there.
And the things that we have going on there. You know, that's something that's important to everybody. But, you know, as a community, as we transpire here to try to keep our losses down by fire, it's shared amongst everyone. You know, being in my industry, I also see it. I see what those ISO ratings do, and it's important for the community to work as much as they can to reduce that down. I know one of the big things, how do you find educating everybody on water pressures and things? Is that going to be okay in the community when you go from Lakeside to Show Low?
You know, we really haven't had that much of an issue. The folks in Lakeside knew what their water pressure was, and the department knew where there are areas where we needed to bring water supply in. Show Low, by all the research that I've done, obviously around the state, they have an absolutely phenomenal water department.
That's great.
So I think there's a lot that we can learn, and the communities can start modeling off each other and building a better water supply for us up here.
That's great. Well, Brian, thanks again for Go Green, Go Red, and we appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Inside City Hall today. If you have questions you'd like answered, please call them into the City Hall at 532-4061, and we'll answer them here on the show. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.